Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 24 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Robin, you're awesome.
Oh, well, thank you. You are
awesome. We're going to find out 49 more ways to say that. You know, I'm being silly with that. Well, I'm not being silly. I mean, I really do think you're awesome.
Thank you.
I remember when I was a kid, I was taking accordion lessons, okay? And my dad was a hard guy to please, I'll tell you the truth. And one day I was practicing, and I remember him saying, Boy, you really sound good today.
Yeah.
Robin, I'm 59 years old. I must have been 6 or 7 when he said that. How important was it to me to still remember that? You see what I mean? I mean, how important is it to be told that you're doing a good job with anything? And you know what? It doesn't happen. It doesn't stop when you get to be an adult, is what I wanted to say there.
No.
And Alexandra Franzen has a very interesting book that she's written called 50 Ways to Say You're Awesome, a big reminder about the transformational power of gratitude. And in the example I gave, I showed you how it transformed me to hear it. But she's going to tell you can transform yourself by giving it. She is, let's see, she's described a few different ways. She's a positively charged blogger. I like that. She's a communication expert focusing on self-expression, creativity, and play, which I like that too. She's a contributor to the American Public Media's Marketplace, the Huffington Post, the Daily Love, Forbes, Fast Company, and again, her book is called 50 Ways to Say You're Awesome. And I just want to add in one thing. That story about the little child who walked up to the Pope, and all the adults were upset because there was a child up there, and then the child grabbed the Pope's leg. That was in the news just this morning, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and then what was the Pope's message? The Pope's message was spend time with your children. In fact, he used the word waste. Waste time with your children, right?
That was very clever.
Well, while you're wasting time, you're not really wasting it, because somewhere in there you're going to tell your child that he or she is awesome, and that just might make their entire lives. Alexandra Franzen, you're awesome. Good morning, Alexandra.
Good morning. Oh, what a beautiful intro, and I love the story you told about your dad. That's so exemplary of what inspired me to write this book.
Oh, interesting. So, and where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm actually calling you from British Columbia today. I'm up on Vancouver Island doing a little book party and a workshop this weekend, so I'm way far away.
See, everybody in Florida thinks it's a good idea to come down here from the cold. I want to get up there. I want to be up there where it's cold.
Yeah.
Has it snowed yet up there?
You know, no snow. I just arrived here the other day. It's been a little wet and rainy. It kind of looks like, you remember those Twilight movies? I feel like I'm in one of those movies, all the pine trees.
Oh, man. See, that's what I want to do. I want to be there. I want to be there. And somebody who wants to play, too. I mean, if you're playful, I want to be with you.
No, it's been amazing. I love coming to Canada. It's like America, only just a little bit friendlier.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
There you go. No shutdowns up there.
All right. So now you hinted at something. Let's go back to something you said in the very beginning. You said that that's kind of my story kind of is why you wrote the book. Explain what you mean by that.
Yeah, you know, I was raised in a household. I was very fortunate to be raised in a household with a mom who really, really, really insisted upon gratitude. You know, she gave us a lot of love. She gave us a lot of compliments and affirmation. And whenever anyone did something kind for us, she basically insisted that we write a handwritten thank you note.
Oh, good idea.
So I really grew up with that ethos that, you know, when someone does something lovely for you, you sit down, you write a note, you say thank you. And as I got older, I just sort of stopped doing that. You know, like you just sort of forget these habits, you fall out of practice. And then I started to notice that kind of nobody does that anymore. Not just writing handwritten thank you notes, but nobody really pauses just to look you in the eye and say, you're doing a great job. You're amazing. And you've affected my life. And I started to really feel a void there and really miss that practice. So kind of in my early to mid-20s, I started to get back into a groove of writing thank you notes in kind of a ferocious way. Like I would be writing, dozens every week to people I knew, people I didn't know, anyone who had affected me. And it really changed the way I saw the world. I started to look at the world through a much more positive lens. I started to realize how much abundance there was in my life, and how many people wanted to help me. And it also caused me to start just giving more compliments in general, much like the one your dad gave to you, because the truth is they stand out, and we do remember them for years and years to come.
When we thank people for whatever, and we articulate why we're thanking them, I mean, maybe even in detail, it sounds like you did that in your writing. Maybe you can comment on both sides of that, the recipient's response and your feeling after you slip that letter into the mail.
Absolutely. For me, personally, like when I'm having kind of a rough day or when I'm feeling a little bit lonely or disconnected, if I sit down with, one sheet of paper or a little stack of postcards or even, just open up an email and I start to think about all of the people around me, both, intimate friends as well as like, the guy who picks up the recycling every week, when I start to think about just how many people are in my life who are helpful, who are beautiful, it immediately lifts my spirits. And it's actually been scientifically proven that having a gratitude practice does change your physiology. It changes your brain chemistry. It makes you happier. So it's literally one of the simplest ways to shift your mood and to feel differently about the world around you, just sitting down to say, thank you.
Yeah.
And on the recipient's end, I think we've all experienced this, really, really being thanked, really being acknowledged is such an incredible experience. And like you say, it's something that you remember not just for the rest of the day, but often for years and years to come. So it's one of those amazing experiences where saying thank you is truly a positive sum experience. The win-win for both people. And those experiences are rare.
And a person doesn't have to send flowers or have a great expense. I mean, the cards are there, and I enjoy the cards that have nothing written on the inside because I like writing my own thoughts and then just, put a stamp on it, pop it in the mail, and that's all that's necessary. You as the thanker, feel good about putting the card in the mail, and then when the person receives it, it must warm their heart.
Absolutely. I have friends who literally take photos of thank you notes that they've received from me and others and look at those photos just to sort of jolt their memories and remind themselves how loved they are.
Wow.
Amazing.
You must write a lot.
I do. It's a little bit of an obsession, as you may have gathered. And, hey, it's funny that you mentioned, Robin, that you love the blank notes. You like to be able to put your own note in there.
Yep.
I do too, but one of the reasons I wanted to write this particular book was I find that sometimes people really, really, really want to express their gratitude, but they're just kind of at a loss for words, or they're not quite sure where to begin, or they get kind of overwhelmed, or they feel like they're kind of rambling. So I really like giving people little prompts, little almost like fill-in-the-blank templates just to get started and kind of like get the muscles going. And that's one of the reasons that in this book, every single page has not just a way to say you're awesome, but a little script that can actually help you say why that person is awesome.
Yeah. Let me ask you to comment on something. If you have somebody who in your life has maybe been nasty to you, and that nasty thing caused you to do something, like maybe you were heavy and somebody said you're a fat slob or something like that, right? And you said, you know what, I'm going to start losing weight. And then you're successful at it. Now, you write them a thank you note. You mean it. You're really grateful. You say, I really want to thank you.
Friends, yeah. I lost you for a moment. I couldn't hear what you were saying, but I'm sure it was awesome.
Oh, no. Well, let me say it again.
Are you still there?
Can you hear me? Can you hear us now?
Alexandra?
Now I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, Alexandra. Okay, let me repeat what I said because I want you to comment on it. If somebody has done something to you negative, let's say a negative comment like, boy, you're a fat slob, and maybe you are, but you but you don't like hearing it. And then you decide, that's the moment that you say, you know what, I'm going to do something about it, I'm going to lose the weight, okay? Then you do. Would you write them a letter? Say, hey, well, I want to thank you. I'm as sincere as I possibly can be, even though it was painful. But thank you. Would you write that kind of a thank you?
You know, this is a fascinating question, and I'm reminded actually of a little story from my own life. I recently wrote a gratitude letter to a guy that I dated a couple of years ago who was really awful, just a really horrible person. And but the thing is, I decided not to actually send that letter. I didn't actually want to rekindle a relationship with him or start a correspondence, but it was important for me to get out in words, just for myself, for my own heart, to kind of shift how I felt about that whole experience, because it was still bothering me years later. So sometimes I think writing a gratitude letter to someone who's hurt you or who's someone who said something negative to you, just for yourself, can be a cathartic experience to kind of affirm, here's what I learned from that experience, here's the upside, here's the positive side. Now, in the example you gave, where someone maybe gives you a piece of criticism that ultimately you really, really need to hear, and you want to create a relationship with that person, I would say, yeah, send that note. I mean, they'll probably be fascinated to know that this little thing they said they didn't even think about actually changed your life in a positive way.
Yeah, but I guess it would be a mixed feeling kind of for the recipient, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. Right. They might kind of feel like, well, geez, like, haven't I done anything nice for you?
Yeah, right.
This is a really fabulous idea. You also point out not just family members, but people that you come across on occasion, like the grocery store clerk, the barista in the coffee shop, people, your postman, people like that.
Absolutely. One of the things I like to think about is, again, just how many people every single day are sort of conspiring to make your life better. From the guy who picks up your recycling to, the teachers taking care of your kids at school to the crossing guard who helps your kids to school. I mean, there's so many people who make your life more awesome, and we almost never, ever, ever say thank you to them. Certainly not in writing, rarely even verbally. And those people need some love. So again, it's a beautiful way to remind yourself just how surrounded with love and support you are. And it blows their minds to be thanked in that way. I mean, think about it. When was the last time you left a handwritten thank you note for the garbage guy?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
I want to tell you something, though. In the course of doing these interviews, and the listeners, and Robin knows this, and Robin does this, the one thing that I usually save till the end, and I'll probably do it again at the end, but I want to do it right now because of the context of this conversation, Alexandra. Usually at the end of an interview, I will say, thank you for being on the air, and then I'll say, but the bigger thank you is for what you're doing for the world, because you're really making the world a better place by what you're doing. And that I don't say it if I don't mean it, and I don't say it if I don't see it in that person's work. But I do in yours. I can clearly see how this little pebble in the water will make some big kind of a stir somewhere else on the other shore, if you know what I mean, that little metaphor you always hear people talk about. But I really think you are making a huge difference, and I really mean it when I thank you for that. Because, look, I have a son, and I imagine he's going to have children, and I imagine they're going to have children. So eventually there's going to be a whole world of my progeny, or whatever you say,
yes,
my descendants, and they're going to benefit if the world is better from people like you. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean to sound corny. It almost sounds corny coming out of me, but I never say something disingenuous. Well, I might sometimes, but I really don't. I really mean it. I really think genuine. It's something that is worthy of thanks. So I'll do it again at the end. But I just want to express to you that I really think that the thing I want to thank you for, and I'm sure Robin agrees, is that you're actually making the world a better place. It probably maybe sounds hard to believe that one book can do that, but I do think so.
Well, that's really, really beautiful, and I accept your thank you. That's gorgeous. And the thing is, though, it's yes, it was an honor and it was exciting to make this book, but every single person who takes a moment to look someone in the eye to say thank you, or who takes a moment to write one note this week, I mean, they're a little pebble in the water too. That's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this message, is that this isn't something magical or special that I can do. Everyone has the capacity to say thank you in their own way, and everybody them leave the world in slightly better condition than they found it by doing so.
And it should be instilled when the children are little, because there's nothing wrong with parents saying, call your grandmother, send your grandpa a thank you note. In fact, on the other end of the spectrum, there's been this controversy going on over the past couple of weeks, about should children that are in elementary school that are playing sports, should they all get trophies, or should just the teams that come in first, second, and third place get trophies? And to me, they should all get trophies because they're participating. It's the adults' way of saying thank you for expressing yourself and being part of a team. But you're showing the children that they're appreciated for what they're doing, for their own ability.
I would love to live in a world where every kid gets a trophy.
Right.
That makes me really happy. Yeah, I agree. And, you mentioned parents instilling this in their kids at a very young age. And like I mentioned at the beginning of our talk, saying thank you, expressing your gratitude was definitely drilled into me at a very young age, and I'm so grateful for that. A really fun little idea that actually one of the readers of this book told me over a conversation the other day was they actually used this book, and you could do this just with, a stack of paper, but she chose one of her siblings, a brother who was having kind of a rough year, and she got every single member of their immediate family to write him basically a love note, a thank you note, just letting him know how much they adored him. And they all wrote them, and they wrote multiple notes, each one, and they put them all together so that instead of sending him just one letter, he literally got, I think, 40 or 50.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And he was literally just moved to tears. He couldn't believe it. And he told them that now he knows that whenever he's having a rough day, he has, not only a letter to look at, but literally an entire volume to remind him just how much he's adored and cared.
Wow.
And I'd love to see more kind of over-the-top expressions of gratitude and generosity like that as well. Because again, it's he's going to be thinking about that for the rest of his life. It's a simple act that really makes a huge ripple.
And see, we can't comment on that particular circumstance, that one guy, but if you start inspiring people with this interview, with the book, with everything you're doing to do that very thing. How many people just heard that story and said, you know what, I'm going to do that? Mm-hmm. I've been to a couple of anniversary parties where the people at the party will have been invited to write a thank you note, or not a thank you note, but a note, just a remembrance note. And usually the remembrance notes have something in there that expresses love of some sort. And I think that's an example of that. And I guess I kind of went on a tangent there. But if people start doing this because of the book, then that supports what I was trying to say earlier about you changing the world in a way. Because, we don't know that young man you were just talking about, but you never know. Maybe you could help somebody or prevent somebody from committing suicide,
Absolutely.
Yeah. I went to your website. First of all, you're beautiful. Second of all,
thank you.
Second of all, if you ever said this to me, I would wonder if there was a double entendre. You ready for this? You have the 50 ways you can say thank you. Your acumen is making me weak in the knees.
Oh, there you go.
First, I would say, really? Give me a dictionary. I got to look up acumen.
Yes.
And then I would say, what part of me is my acumen, Robin? Robin?
Yeah, I have no clue. I got to look up the word.
That's funny. Yeah.
I will hear you use that one day, and then I will know what it is.
My acumen.
To someone, yeah.
But anyway, I was being silly right there. Here's one that you wrote here. You're all that and a bag of kale chips.
I think it's really wonderful that you're able to give people a jump start, because some people just don't know how to express their feelings. And as long as you're being a wonderful guide for them, they'll take what you've written and just put things in there that come from their own heart.
Absolutely. I have a really funny story, actually, since you raised the double entendre question of a woman who got her hands on a copy of my book, and then she happened to be going out to dinner with her girlfriends right afterwards. So she brought the book along with her. They were at the restaurant. She was reading some of the little compliments and love notes out loud, and they were all laughing. Some of them are, kind of funny. And apparently a very handsome waiter came over to their table and said, ladies, what's so funny? What's going on here? And she chose one of the pages. I think it was, are you available in bulk and can I pre-order?
Yes.
And she read it to him, and he thought it was hysterical. And they ended up going on a date that night. So
Wow.
you never know what might happen when you're a little playful and express your feelings and gratitude even to a total stranger.
Oh, that's interesting.
And that's one of the most wonderful things that you're saying, to be playful. I mean, people have got to have that levity. They have to lighten up and just find some fun things to do in their life.
Absolutely, yeah. And I love hearing all of these stories of people reading the phrases, sending the phrases, and what happens for them. You know, whether it's a hot date or or a brother who feels really moved and adored, and maybe changes his whole world.
I think today when I go out to a restaurant, I'm going to use number 16 to the waiter or waitress.
Oh, okay.
I'm
what's
gonna.
that?
It's you are far effing out. I can't say it on the radio.
Oh.
You are far effing out. You are far. You are far
And
effing
that's a
out.
date getter.
I love it.
That's
Little
great.
70 strokes.
Can I ask
I
you a
love
question?
that.
On the list of 50, and I haven't really read every single one. I'm kind of scrolling through as we're talking. There's no mention of attractiveness. Now, you said that this guy was a handsome guy, but could we have number 51 that says, "You are so cute"?
Oh, there you
Ooh,
go.
I like it.
Or does
Yeah.
that not count? Is that too superficial?
Nope, I think that's a classic. We'll put that in the next edition of the book.
You know what I say to the I have some really attractive nephews, nieces in my
Oh,
family.
yeah, they're gorgeous.
I'll say, do you take pretty pills? How are you so pretty?
Yeah, they're all beautiful.
You take pretty pills?
Good genes.
I don't know.
I love it.
Well, you really seem to hit the proverbial nail on the head with this one, because you're actually giving people the confidence to express their thoughts and to not feel like they're doing something silly by expressing these thoughts.
Absolutely. I mean, it is silly, but it's silly in the best possible way often. And yes, I mean, if every single person listening shows even just one person who you love, who you adore, who's done something great for you, and you give them just one compliment this week, I'd be so curious to see what happens for you. I bet it'll create a beautiful ripple effect, even if it's just the fact that your relationship with that one person gets a little bit stronger.
Do you remember? This is Halloween, so I have a question for you. Do you remember the TV show The Munsters by chance? No.
The Munsters.
The Munsters. Okay. The Munsters was
Way
the
into
Munsters was a family of monsters. Okay, on TV. And they were all hideous. They had they looked scary or whatever. They weren't ugly, but I guess that was the whole point, is to make them look ugly. But they had one daughter, and she was beautiful, and they always felt so bad for her because in their eyes she was horrible.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's the eye of the beholder thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on the air, Alexandra. I really do. And I'll just thank you again for being on the air. Plus, thank you for what you're contributing to all of us, because I really do think it will make a big difference. So now we need to find out how to get the book. It's called 50 Ways to Say You're Awesome. How do we get the book?
Yeah, I like to say it's available on Amazon and everywhere and stuff. It's basically just everywhere. Local bookstores, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, all the usual places. You can go to my website, which is alexandrafranzen.com, and just last night I put up a really, really fun video of people using the book at one of my workshops in New York, and it's so adorable. There's actually an original song written by a friend of mine where he takes phrases from the book and uses them as lyrics. So if you want something cute to watch with your morning coffee.
Oh, really? What did he sing it when he got to the effing one?
No, we actually, that one was omitted from the final book.
Oh,
because
no.
We wanted to
There
keep
you
it
go.
clean.
All right, now help. The one I don't understand. I like the cut of your jib. What does that mean?
Oh, what is that?
What is a jib?
So that is actually a very old-timey nautical expression.
Oh.
The cut of your jib, it has something to do with sailing. It basically means, like, I like what you've got going on.
Oh, there you go.
Ah.
I'll use that
Oh,
one.
it is a physical one. Okay.
I'll use that one.
I like the cut of your jib, baby. I'm going to use that one, too. See how I do today, Robin.
Oh, there you go.
Fun interview. Alexandra, thank you so much for being on the air with us today, and come back anytime.
Oh, my gosh, such a pleasure. Thank you both, and thank you for just being yourself.
We got thank yous from the thank you lady.
Yeah, so nice of you, Alexandra. You're wonderful.
Thank
Great
you.
service.
We'll take a little break and we'll be right back.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala home store on Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give them a call and they'll come and pick it up. For more information, visit habitatocala.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County, building homes, building hope, building community.
This is a public notice. Local residents can now save thousands of dollars on their next car, truck, or SUV. It's not a tent sale, because no tent is big enough to hold this many cars. It's OcalaForSale.com. Say goodbye to sticker shock. OcalaForSale.com has thousands of vehicles with no stickers at all. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, loss proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Pick up your copy of Lady Lake Magazine, featuring local businesses and issues and written by local volunteers. Lady Lake Magazine has become a must-read in Marion, Lake, and Sumter counties, audited by Circulation Verification Council and serving the area for 23 years. Plus, Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. All we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 352-804-1223 and pick up your copy of Lady Lake Magazine today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Alice?
Yes, George. George, you're all wet.
I went to Devon Self-Storage and put back my fishing gear.
Okay. You know Devon Self-Storage is open early and you had all day to bring your fishing gear back. And they're right across from Hobby Lobby.
I know. I have my own code to get into Devon Self-Storage. And their phone number, too, is 873-0777.
So why did you wait till it started raining?
I didn't. I slipped getting the boat out of the water.
Boat?
Bye!
George?
Time again for the Silver Springs Lions Train Show, November 16th and 17th at the National Guard Armory, 900 Southwest 20th Street in Ocala. Times are 9 to 4 on Saturday, 10 to 3 on Sunday. $4 admission for adults, children 12 and under, free with a paying adult. You bring in a can of food or a non-perishable item, it's $1 off admission. Come join us for operating train layouts, new and old trains, good food, and just a lot of fun. See you at the show.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information.
Universal Soil Solutions wants to know when the last time you took a good look at your property. Noticed any driveway cracks, stair-step cracks in your block, or even foundation cracks? It may or may not be a sinkhole, but a visual inspection by a trained professional must be performed. Experts in sinkhole remediation, cosmetics, remodeling, and even complete construction development. Universal Soil Solutions provides that inspection for free. To schedule your free property inspection, you must call now, 877-519-2777. That's 877-519-2777.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.